What's up, football heads? Welcome back to that show. I am Kyle. He is Caesar, and this is NOOB Football Picks Week 6 of the 2025 season. We're coming to you late here on a Saturday, so we missed the Thursday game. Unfortunately, I had a bunch of
I
work this
didn't
week
miss it.
because this. What?
I didn't miss that game. I wish I missed
No,
it.
not the game. We missed. We didn't record before the game because I had a bunch of work. I worked at like a 65-hour week because unfortunately this show does not pay the bills because you people don't like and subscribe and tell a friend to tell a friend. But that's a whole
Yet.
other story. So like and subscribe and tell a friend to tell a friend. Um, but yeah, the Eagles. I feel like we both would have picked the Eagles at MetLife Stadium. Giants double them up, 34-17. Jackson Dart doing Jackson Dart things, Cam Scattaboo doing Cam Scattaboo things, redefining the phrase scat back. Just, I feel like those two guys, it's not even that like, oh, these are going to be like top tier superstars in the league. They might be, but it's just like this youthful exuberance that you don't have with Russell Wilson that just permeates not just the fan base, but the roster where everyone feels like this renewed youthful energy. This like you could just feel it watching those guys play. They just bring this juice that has transferred to the team. And for some reason they lost to the Saints, but the Saints have not been playing that bad. But the Eagles' problems continue. It looked back and forth in the first half, and then the wheels once again. The Eagles are incapable of playing a full 60 minutes of good football. I don't know why, but the floor is yours. Rant away about your Philadelphia Birds.
You're right. I was going to pick the Eagles to win this game, obviously, because it's the fucking Eagles. I don't know what the fuck's going on. I'm not gonna jump on any bandwagons asking for Nick Sirianni to resign or get fired. I don't even want Kevin Patullo or whatever the fuck his name is to get fired either. I just want them to get it together. You have so much talent on that team, but somehow nothing is working. The offensive line is not dominating like they were dominating all the time in the previous seasons. Like they went from being one of the best, if not the best offensive line in football to being mediocre. We're not able to protect Jalen Hurts. Granted, in this past game, Lander Dickerson was injured and was not able to play. So, of course, a lot of the pressure came from that left side from Jalen Hurts. You can see it all the time. Jordan Mailata was having to do double duty because the backup, whose name I forget right now, was not, on Landon Dickerson's level. I'm not saying he's bad, but I'm not saying he's not on Landon Dickerson's level. Dickerson is a great guard. He's good at his job. He's good at what he's done. And of course, it's going to be an issue. But at the same time, they're not dominating. They're not getting Hurts the time he needs to get the ball out of his hands. And when they do, for some reason, he's overthrowing the ball, or AJ Brown's not running the route at the same pace, or he slows down, or I don't know what's going on. It's just not working out. It's not, and it's horrible. The run game cannot be established. I mean, Saquon Barkley started the game with two great runs. He got the first down in the first one, and then he got it like for 19 yards, and then he got another big run. But then after that, it was just like non-existent. I don't know what's going on. It's something that's baffling to me, and I'm really pissed off about it. I don't say
Well,
fire
you
Nick
bring up
Sirianni. I'm not saying fuck whatever Kevin what's his face. What I want
Patullo.
that team to get to there. And the defense, hold on. Motorcycles driving by. All right.
Good.
The defense, we need to bench Kylie Ringo's ass. Kylie Ringo is ass. He needs to sit on the bench and not move and then get released at the end of the season. I don't care what his deal is. Just get rid of him. Or at least teach you how to fucking tackle. He can't tackle for shit. He can't work safety. He can't do anything right. He was horrible in this game, and he should be ashamed of himself, and he should not call himself a professional football player. That's what I'm most angry about at this time. But the rest of the defense, for some reason, they forgot how to tackle, and they cannot tackle anybody else in this game. The Giants were without their best wide receivers in this game, and they still were able to get some nice plays in the air. And as Cam Scatterable was able to run through them like they were nothing. Get it together, Big Fangio. Get it together, Sirianni. Get the whole team together. And whatever these conversations were about them meeting up, which AJ Brown said, no, we didn't have a meeting. I walked to the parking lot and they were talking, so I just went up to them and talked, and that's it. And we left. Like, stop with this fucking drama that they do every single year with the Eagles. Just get a shit together and play the game. I'm confident that next week we're able to get some wins. Sorry, Kyle, but either way, we need to fucking get it together. The season is not over. I'm not calling for heads right now, except for Kyler Ringo's ass. Fuck that guy. But we need. Go ahead. Sorry.
The problem with Ringo is you got too many injuries. Quinyon Mitchell went down, I believe, with a hamstring, and that's especially for a DB, is probably a multi-week injury. I mean, there's degrees to it, but even like the lowest degree is. It's not something, any kind of soft tissue shit you never want to rush because then you re-aggravate it and make it worse. And then it's a longer term injury. I mean, you got lucky because Cooper DeJean and what was it, Reed Blankenship, like collided knees, and DeJean was kind of shaking his knee out a little bit. And me, as a Vikings fan, playing you guys next week, I'm like, oh man, please knock this guy out for a couple games so we don't have to deal with him either. But you bring up an interesting point about, obviously, Landon Dickerson didn't play.
Carter didn't play.
Yeah, but what's up with Lane Johnson? Is he back from injury?
He did play. He's not injured. He's cleared to compete, but you can see that he's struggling. He clearly is not 100%.
He's not at full health. Yeah. So, I mean, you got some continuity issues there, and obviously Tyler Steen coming in, who this entire time until like 2 weeks ago, I just assumed Tyler Steen was like a country-fed white boy, and he is not. But so, Mekhi Becton left in free agency, went to the Chargers. So there's a new configuration there. But then also part of it is like you lost to the Broncos, you lost to the Giants, who have two of the best fronts in football. They get a ton of pressure. Not going to get any easier because the Vikings are also – have an excellent front and are one of the top 8 teams in terms of pressure. And then you play the Giants again. So the next couple of weeks, like, you're still going to have to deal with good defensive fronts. The play calling, the offensive play calling, you and I talked about this a bunch the other day. It's kind of one of those, like, it's the curse of being a great team that has a bunch of success. Your coordinators are gonna get poached, and you have the quote unquote brain drain. And it's like, if you bring in some, when inevitably Zach Taylor and Mike McDaniel get fired and they have to bump back down to coordinator positions, like, they're proven play callers. Like, you could bring someone like that in, but then you're changing the system. Jalen Hurts has not had the same offensive coordinator / play caller
since college,
since high school, which is insane. But like you're keeping some degree of continuity by promoting a guy within the system, but Patullo's never called plays before. So it's like playing quarterback where you got to get into a rhythm. Like, it's going to take him time to get into a rhythm as a play caller, but you're the defending champs. So you're like, the expectation from fans, from media, from everyone in the building is like,
be excellent.
We're the defending champs. We got to go. Exactly. Go execute, go win games. There's no excuse. Or what I suggested is I'd be curious, because the thing that made me like Sirianni initially was like, 4, 5, 6 games into his career, he said, you know what? Someone else do the play calling. Me having to handle all the head coaching duties and call plays, it's too much for a new guy stepping into the position. And these head coaches, they all have egos, and they think they can do it all. So to me, that was a sign of someone like humbling himself and saying, like, let me handle what I need to handle as head coach right now. Have someone else call plays. But now that he's been a head coach and managed the games for years, led him to 2 Super Bowls, had a win in a Super Bowl, maybe he could take on the extra duties, and then you would have that. Like, the benefit of like Kevin O'Connell as the Vikings coach is, that the play calling and the system is going to be the same for your quarterback every single year as long as he's the head coach. So maybe there's a thought to that. And then like Saquon was just always bound to have a down season because I mean he had a historic season last year. Like regardless, like you're not going to replicate that. It's not reasonable to expect that. But then the workload, historically, running backs take a pretty big step back the following year. And then the meeting between Hurts and Devontae Smith and AJ Brown. At first, it was reported I thought it was a players only meeting, which is a terrible sign. Anytime there's like the Dolphins had a players only meeting after the first week of the season, it's like that's always like the kiss of death. Is like if the team feels like the players need to meet, the wheels have completely fallen off. But in this case, apparently it's just the three of them chatting, and like AJ Brown kind of made it, added more drama to it than he needed, but. Like him standing there talking about it, I felt like he was being a bit coy. Like it didn't feel like he was like, "Yeah, we didn't meet." It was like him like laughing it off, like it's our business. Like don't worry about it. But the media is going to do what they do. So I don't know how to take that necessarily. I mean, it kind of is what it is, but just based on the factors of losing your OC and promoting a guy who's never called plays, having some injuries on the offense and defensive line, you lost Josh Sweat. Nolan Smith, I believe, is still on IR.
Yep.
It's like you're down edge rushers. Quinyon Mitchell gets hurt. Adoree Jackson has not been playing great.
Kobe
Kelly
Dean hasn't
Ringo
been
has
cleared
to.
either.
Yeah, there you go. So there's a lot of. It's very unsung because there's a lot of other teams like the Niners are dealing with a ton of injuries. The Vikings dealing with massive injuries on the offensive line. That the Eagles' injuries have kind of like been spaced out a bit across different personnel groups, so like it hasn't been talked about as much. But they're dealing with a ton of injuries on top of the other stuff, and then it just all I don't know, man. It's fake. It's not even mid-October. Like I'm not. The Eagles were 4-2 last year. Everyone wanted to fire Sirianni. Everyone wanted to burn the bridges down, and
That's why I'm not
they
jumping
win
on
the
that
Super
bandwagon.
Bowl. So, it does feel a little like there's more actual cause for concern this year than last year, but I'm still not there yet. Like, let's see where they are come November, and then, you know, if they're 5-3 or they're 4-4 or something like that, then maybe we can look at it and say. But I mean, they're definitely roster-wise and then health-wise, they're not the same dominant unit that just mowed through everyone
And
last
mentally.
year. Like last year, yeah.
You can tell.
Winning does change things.
You
You
see
either
their faces,
like
and you can actually see Jalen Hurts be worried when he has never looked worried in his life as a professional.
he hasn't looked anything in his life.
He just
He's a
looks
robot.
like he's an emotionless robot sitting on the sidelines, whether they're winning or they're losing. And this game, especially this past game against the Giants, I just could see it in his face. He was frustrated. He was worried. And the rest of the players were the same thing. And when you get that energy, you're not going to win games. I'm sorry. When you get that energy, when you get beat mentally, you're going to lose the game. There's nothing worse for a player than to lose the mental game. Props to the Giants, though. I'm gonna say that to the Jackson Dart. Excellent game from him. Scatterboo, what a maniac, what a madman, what a rabid Wolverine he is. I hope he doesn't get CTE by the end of the season because he's taking unnecessary hits just to make sure to get the play done. But they're a fun team to watch this year. So good for the Giants. Fuck them, but good for the Giants. I hate Brian Dabble. I was talking to Tan about this. I just hate looking at Brian Dabble's face. And he has a shit-eating grin.
Oh, man.
On the sidelines, like, look at me. I'm a fucking great coach. No, bitch, you're getting saved by Jackson Dart and Cam Scatterbo.
That's why he's got the grin, because like he's had to deal with Daniel Jones being like full pumpkin Daniel Jones, Russell Wilson. Like he looks at Jackson Dart with more fondness than he looks at his own children.
He looks like he's just in love with, like he's about to kiss him in the mouth and say, "You're my boy, you're my boy."
When he went into the blue tent, Dable was horrified. Like he was ready to pull a handgun out and delete himself. Like he was.
Once Russell Wilson threw that pass, I swear he threw that pass on purpose to just hit the.
It got tipped.
There's no
it wasn't
way
even his
can
fault.
Throw that
really.
pass like that on accident. Like he had to throw that shit on purpose. Once he did that, that was the best moment of the game for me because I just saw his frustration and his anger in Brian Dabble's face. Like he was so mad. He started to yell at the doctor about Jackson Dart. Like Apparently, he's getting investigated for that shit too. So
Oh God, whatever. That's
that's
football.
hey.
Shoot some Toradol in there and get him back on the
Apparently,
field.
the league believes that they did not follow concussion protocol. So that's up to them to
He's
decide.
young. His brain is still elastic. He'll
Well,
bounce
yeah,
back.
well, they should check Cam Scatterbo if they're worried about concussion protocol.
Cam Scatterbo was born with CTE, brother. He is CTE. He doesn't have CTE. CTE has Cam Scatterbo.
I saw a video of him in
built
college just
different,
headbutting a wall with his helmet, like getting ready to enter the field.
He was awesome in college. Awesome. I thought he was way underdrafted. He was a guy because it was like this historic running back class. Everybody's going to draft a running back, and like we still had Aaron Jones, and then eventually they traded for Jordan Mason. But before they traded for Jordan Mason, I'm like, we got to get another running back in here. Aaron Jones is old. We need someone to complement him, and like Cam Scatterbo was pretty high on that list of like you got Aaron Jones who's a shifty guy. You just get Cam Scatterbo in there and just hammer his head directly into whatever's in front of him. But yeah, I mean the Eagles they got shit to figure out. It feels like everything just kind of like gets worse every week. But the Eagles have traditionally thrived under chaos. Even 2 years ago when both the coordinators got fired and they lost to the Bucs in the playoffs, like they won 11 games. Like it's not
they talk about
they never bottom out. Like they handle chaos and controversy and drama better than pretty much anyone.
That's their identity. People talk, especially this like you like to call the Muppets. The media Muppets that you like to call them.
The media Muppets.
They like to talk about how the Eagles lacking identity. No, man, this is their identity. The drama between players.
They lack a football identity, but
they know who they are in the field. They just don't know how to fucking do it when they have this drama surrounding them because that's who they are. It's just a drama team. Every single year, there's some drama behind it. Oh, he wants out. No, he doesn't want out. Oh, they're meeting. Oh, they're not meeting. Like, fuck out of here, man. Whatever. I still love the Eagles. They're still my team, and I'm sure we'll be fine.
Hopefully they lose next week, and then they can go undefeated after that for all I care. They just got to lose next week. One last point on this game. I don't want to spend too much time on this. I have wanted to talk about this before, but we got to get into the picks. Was there any update on the guy who got injured during that tush push?
Oh,
when they ran 4 straight tush pushes?
Do you know who it was?
No, I don't, and I hope he makes a full recovery, but I hope it's a bad enough injury that they can push this thing through and get this shit banned. It's not about the Eagles. I just hate that the offense is allowed to push people from behind, and those of us old enough to remember the Bush push with Reggie Bush in college, that the offense is now allowed to push people from behind. The defense can't in the same way, like on a field or in a special team situation, like the defensive special team side can't push from behind because it's dangerous. And the defense, like if there's a 300-pound lineman out, pulling on a fucking run play, running power, or there's a screen pass and the 300-pound lineman's out in space, the 185-pound DB used to be able to just dive at their legs and cut them out to blow up the block, but they can't do that anymore because it's dangerous. But an offensive line is allowed to dive straight at the defensive line's knees. It's not an unfair advantage to the Eagles. Like they just have figured out how to do this better than anybody else, and kudos to them for that. But it's an unfair advantage. It's an unequitable or inequitable, whatever it is, play from offense and defense perspective. And that's always been my issue. And then it's tough to officiate. Like they're false starting like half the time it feels like, but it's tough to see because it's just everyone kind of.
No,
and then if they're like spotting the ball, reviewing the play, like it's tough to see where. And that's
live. Like when you're slowing it down frame by frame, of course you're going to see it. But when you do it live, like people talk, the officiating needs to be better, dude. It's fucking hard to see that shit. Like
it's tough, but the officiation does need to be better. Across the board, not even just on the touch push.
It's a hard thing to see live. But listen, I'm not gonna be coy here. Like it's my favorite team. It's a team I root for, so of course I don't want that move banned. But I can see the hate. I can see the reasons why some people want it banned. If that guy is injured, if that's injury and that's the reason why it gets banned, that's fine. Whatever. I don't mind it.
I mean, they were very close. It's only going to take a few teams to flip their position.
Yeah,
but or maybe the other thing, too, is like football is a great game. It's the best sport in the world. That's why you and I are doing this show. That's why the smattering of people who are watching this show, and they're all going to hit the like button right now, and they're all going to hit the subscribe button right now, and they're all going to tell a friend to tell a friend. But the NFL, first and foremost, is a business. It's an entertainment business. And if you're an Eagles fan, the tush push, the brotherly shove, probably very entertaining.
Yeah. To other fans,
but
not
to
so much.
Everybody else. And like, here's the thing is like, I have personal football reasons and personal like geographic reasons why I hate the Eagles. But maybe you're a fan of like the Chargers and you don't care about the Eagles whatsoever. You have nothing against them or the fans or whatever. And your team played on Sunday and the Eagles are playing Monday night and it's Eagles Cowboys and you don't really care about the Cowboys nonsense. You don't care about the Eagles stuff. You just want to tune in and watch a great game. And they run 4 straight tush pushes at some point, I guess Thursday night against the Giants. You don't care about either one of those teams. They run 4 straight tush pushes. You as a fan, you're not entertained by that, and that's a stupid reason to ban a rule. And I wouldn't ban the rule because of that. I would ban it for the football reasons. But the NFL is an entertainment business first and foremost.
Every time
I do feel like at some point that'll.
It's not football. It's not entertaining. It's like
in this business.
Who gives a fuck if it's entertaining or not? It's about
the billionaires do. That's who cares.
But I'm not.
That's why they change all these rules
people on social media. I'm not talking about billionaires who have no fucking social media presence. I'm talking about people on social media who are just like you and I, everyday guys. Who just like, oh, it's not entertaining. Like, bro, if some team decides to do slants every fucking play for 4 straight plays in a row, and that's their fucking play, and they do that in a row, I don't care if it's entertaining or not. It's a fucking slant. It's the same play 4 times in a row. If that's what works, that's what works. Do they do it well?
Let me tell you this.
Well, you can't fault that.
That
for the
Vikings
reasons
Browns
you mentioned,
game,
though, that's a different story.
That Vikings-Browns game almost drove me insane because I'm telling you the Browns ran the same 2 plays back and forth. Just off tackle and then play action, bootleg, dump off in the flat to the tight end. Back and forth the entire game. And somehow it was just 7 yards, 7 yards, 7 yards, 7 yards. It wasn't boring me. It was driving me fucking insane. But like fans complaining about it being entertaining. I don't really care. Like football to me is, I don't care I don't care if it's a 6-3 game or like that 3-0 Vikings Raiders game a couple years ago.
Jesus.
Very entertaining. Or if it's 45-42, very entertaining. It's football. It's entertaining to me. But
you want entertaining?
all these rules get changed because of the business and the entertainment aspect. When you can't hit a quarterback below the knees. Why? Because Bernard Pollard dove into Tom Brady's knees in the first week of the season, knocked him out with an ACL, and then guess what? We don't have Tom Brady. We can't market Tom Brady. We can't get people to watch all these Patriots games in prime time, or at least not as many people, because people tune in to either love or hate Tom Brady, but Tom Brady ain't out there. Matt Castle's out there, and he ain't going to draw the same ratings. So it's all these rules, they can talk about player safety all they want. They get changed because Anthony Barr slams Aaron Rodgers on the ground, breaks his clavicle. Now Aaron Rodgers is out for the season. So now you can't land your full body weight on a quarterback because we got to protect them because of player safety. But they don't care about Aaron Rodgers' clavicle. They care about people tuning into Packers games to watch Aaron Rodgers. Yeah. That's why they do it. So that's where, to me, the entertainment aspect comes in. I don't care if the fans are entertained.
It's not like the league cares that Chris Jones got CTE for trying to block the tush push on his side, and now he's crying every single time the Chiefs lose. So it's not like that's an issue.
The best was Frankie Louvu in the championship game last year, just diving over the top. I respected that because it's like, you want to keep running this same play, I'm going to keep jumping over the top, and you can keep calling a penalty and moving the ball 2 inches, and I'm just going to keep doing it until I time it right. And then they invented rules where it's like, we're going to award them a touchdown if you keep doing it. It's like, that's not real. Just stop it. That I thought was going to get the tush push ban because of what Frankie Louvu was doing and potential outrage over this idea of you can just award a team a
Dude,
touchdown.
I was watching.
Insane.
I was watching that game with my stepkids, and they were laughing their asses off because they were just he just continued timing over everybody, just like full starting.
I was hungover in Vegas after winning an award that is sitting right behind me, right here. All right. Do you have any other points on the Eagles?
No, that's it. That's my
pick
rant.
schedule?
You know, just get off the bandwagon of firing people. Just get on the bandwagon of benching Kylie Ringo. That's the only bandwagon I care about. Even if Dory Jackson has shown improvement, but Kylie Ringo just he's just regressing. So that's it. That's all I'm going to say. Move on to next week for the Eagles. I'm done with week 6 with the Eagles.
All right. Well, first up, we got the international game, another one, the NFL London games. I wonder if they're staying at Danbury Manor like the Vikings were last week. Broncos 3-2, New Jersey Jets 0-5, the last remaining winless team in the league, I do believe. Broncos Jets 6:30 a.m. here on the West Coast, 9:30 on the East Coast, live on NFL Plus and NFL Network. Caesar, who you got?
I got the Jets. They're finally going to get the win this season, and I'll tell you why. The Broncos are coming all the way from the beautiful Rocky Mountains of Colorado. They have to fly all the way to the U.S., over the fucking Atlantic Ocean, all the way to Great Britain, down to England and London. The Jets, they just got to take one flight over the Atlantic Ocean, all the way to Great Britain, all the way to England, all the way to London. For that same reason, I'm picking the Jets. The flight time is slower. It's not as long as from Colorado. They're going to be well rested. The Broncos are going to be jet lagged like as fuck. So I'm picking that. I'm picking the Jets for that reason only. The Broncos are a better team than the Jets at this point. They have been able to find chemistry. They beat the Eagles last week, where I was not able to talk about that one, but that's a closer game. They're showing that they actually figured things out and they have chemistry and they're able to get it done. Sean Payton found his quarterback and he's able to get things done with Bo Nix. So, yeah, they're a better team, but I feel like the traveling aspect of this game is going to be a very, very good factor for the Jets to win this and get their first win. And the Jets are a good team, too. They just, they haven't won a single game because they face better teams or teams that for some reason get it done.
My first thought when I pulled up the schedule right before we jumped on is the same thought is the Broncos have a lot. Like I earlier this year traveled from Los Angeles, flew all the way to London Heathrow, and then I had another flight to Manchester, and then I took a train and an automobile on top of that. But it's a long flight. It is not fun. However, I then remembered that I had read something a few days ago that the Broncos left directly from Philly last week, and they've been there all week. So I'm curious to see how that plays out. It's if they both left on Thursday, which seems to be the popular thing to like limit the don't adjust to London time and then come back and have to readjust and then kind of screw your either way you're going to get screwed with adjustments to some degree. Just fly out there, try and take a red eye, sleep on the plane, and go from there. But them flying directly, the game was in Philly, right?
Yeah.
Flying directly from Philly from the East Coast instead of flying back to Denver and then a few days later flying all the way from Denver to London.
It's a long week.
That feels like a smart move to me. I think that's a good move because then your body adjusts and then you come back and let me see. Is Denver on a bye next week? Denver is not on a bye next week, so we'll see how that goes. They host the Giants. Jets, Giants, back to back. But God damn it, we're all on the Jets. I'm still gonna pick the Jets because they're too fucking talented to go 0-6. I said they were too talented to go 0-5, and they were gonna beat the Dallas Cowboys last week. They pretty much, the score doesn't indicate it, but they got smoked. My guy Ryan Flournoy went for 100 yards. I believe that was his first career 100-yard game. But God damn it, the Jets got to get a dub. Aaron Glenn is too good of a coach. He was too good of a player. He's too entertaining on the sidelines for them to go 0-6. The Broncos are the better team. The Broncos are playing better. The Broncos should win this game, but I'm going to do something stupid, and I'm going to pick the Jets.
Listen, I'm going to run something with you. Week 1, Jets lost. They faced the Steelers. Broncos won. They faced
close game.
The Titans. Week 2,
fair.
The Jets lost to the Bills. The Broncos lost to the Colts. Week 3, the Jets lost to the Buccaneers, while the Broncos
Bucks came back.
Lost to the Chargers.
Chargers were healthy at that point in time.
Week 4, the Jets. Where are they at? Where's my note? They lost to the Dolphins. The Broncos.
They made it close by the end.
They beat the Bengals.
The Joe Burrow list completely destroyed the previous week by my Minnesota Vikings.
And last week, the Jets, they faced the Cowboys and they lost to the Cowboys. While the Broncos,
they got smoked there.
They beat the Philadelphia Eagles. What does that tell me? The Broncos have only faced 2 good teams, while the Jets have been facing top teams nonstop, except for the Dolphins, but they decided to face them in the week that they got
and the Cowboys
together. Well, they're still okay. They're not contenders yet, but they're better than the fucking Titans.
Their offense is if not elite, then damn near close to it.
Yeah.
The Jets can't stop anybody, man.
So what that tells me is the Jets have had a bad schedule for them because they've been facing teams that, unfortunately, on paper and since the results that we have, we're 0-5, are better than them.
They played 3 good teams and 2 bad teams.
But the Broncos have done
3
the
good
opposite.
Teams, 1 bad team.
The
one
Broncos have done
team.
the opposite. They faced 2 teams that are good, and the rest have been bad teams. So I don't think the Broncos have been proven yet, except for this past week against the Eagles. So I'm going for the Jets. I think they're going to get it done. I think they're going to be able to get that first win of the season this week in London, England, for the King.
I want to pick the Broncos. I was like, what made me say I'm going to keep riding with the Jets is that I had just assumed you were not going to pick the Jets, so that makes me want to pick the Broncos. But I'm going to die on this Jets hill until they win a game. I'm going to keep picking the Jets because once again I had no time to do research this week, so I'm just flying by the seat of my pants, which is fine. But next up, we got an AFC North showdown between 2 longtime rivals, the Cleveland Browns, 1-4. Starting Dylan Gabriel again, Shedeur Sanders, who we have not talked about, I don't think, a single time this year on this show. The only sports talk show in America that does not pound Shedeur Sanders stories down your throat, even though I like Shedeur Sanders and I'm root for Shedeur because I love Dion. Shouts out my boy Dion.
Because we have nothing bad to say about the guy. That's why.
And where's Shiloh Sanders? Can we get this man on the damn roster?
Get to the Eagles. Shiloh, we need you, brother. Get to the Eagles.
You kind of do. Browns at Steelers. Steelers coming off a bye at 3-1. 1 p.m. on CBS. Who you got?
I got my bad man in black, Mr. Rogers himself. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood in Pittsburgh, PA.
Yeah, I'm on the Steelers.
I mean, are we gonna actually argue for the Browns, or just traded away Joe Flacco? And they got a great defense. Sanders.
They got a great defense. I will say shouts out to the Minnesota Vikings makeshift offensive line that by the end of the game they had 1 starter, 3 third stringers, and 1 backup in, and they held Myles Garrett without a sack. Mason Graham did absolutely nothing in that game. And Justin School, who I clowned on this podcast, who I clowned on my Vikings podcast, shouts out the Purple Stuff Pod. You can find that on YouTube. Like, subscribe, and tell a friend. But I clowned this man. I said he shouldn't be allowed within 100 yards of a football field. He had 14 snaps where he went up against Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett had 0 pressures. Not only did he have 0 sacks, he had 0 pressures. He had 2 pressures the entire game in 35 pass rush snaps. Kevin O'Connell with a tremendous game plan. And I have been critical of Kevin O'Connell's play calling at times and his unwillingness to shift his scheme based on what they have in front of him. And he came to play T.J. Hawkinson. They had T.J. Hawkinson and Josh Oliver, 2 tight ends, blocking Myles Garrett on one play. Non-factor. So what I'm saying is you can hold this defense and prevent them from wrecking a game. The Packers did not do that when they lost to the Browns, but you can do that, and the Steelers will do that because they're just – I don't think the Steelers are as good as their 3-1 record, but I also – think they're significantly better as a team than the Cleveland Browns.
I gotta make some. We got some breaking news. 34 minutes ago, AJ Brown has made another post with scripture on it.
Oh Jesus
and I read,
Christ!
In my distress, I pray to the Lord, and the Lord answered me and set me free. The Lord is for me, so I will have no fear. What can mere people do to me? Yes, the Lord is for me. He will help me. I will look to triumph at those who hate me. It is better to take refuge in the Lord than to trust in people. This comes with 2 pictures of him in the Eagles uniform. One just standing in like the locker room with the white jersey and black pants. The other one on the field with the midnight green and white pants. The top comments are basically Cooper DeJean with a star. A big play Slay. We miss you, Slay. With a swole Batman comment.
Ay.
This is AJ. Look, I love you, brother, but I know that there's nothing wrong, and I know you're fine. I just know that you're just feeding the media. You know what this does to the fucking Muppets that Kyle says?
He's trolling the media.
He's trolling you're just gonna get them on a fucking rant about are things he's gonna get traded. Is Adrian Brown gonna get traded from the Eagles? Who is he gonna go?
You're gonna have Adam Schefter consulting a rabbi to fucking dissect the scripture and determine based in the Old Testament, what does this mean?
Anyways, back to the
Good
picks.
Lord.
AJ, I love you, brother.
Jesus. Was this breaking news? Like, was this you on Instagram, or did you get an actual alert from like ESPN?
No, I just opened Instagram. And I just saw the first post like 34 minutes ago. AJ Brown.
Oh my God. All right, let's move on. We got the 3-2 Chargers coming on a 2-game losing streak, headed to South Beach to take on the 1-4 Miami Dolphins, 1 p.m. Eastern on CBS. Who you got?
Listen, I was up on the Miami train saying they figured some things out. They lost last week, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they did. They lost to the Panthers, of any fucking team. But I don't think they're going to be able to beat the Chargers, even though the Chargers still are suffering from some injuries, especially in that offensive line. I believe Joe Alt is still – is it Joe Alt? Is that his name? Alt?
Yeah.
I believe he's still out. I don't think he's good to go. So it's going to be a tough game for the Chargers, but they're going to win this game against the Dolphins.
Yeah, Chargers. The Dolphins suck. They're cooked. Get them out of here.
They're fish sticks.
Fry up the mahi-mahi, baby. They are cooked, baby. Get them out of here.
Why do you hate the Dolphins so much? I feel like I used to hate them at the start of the season, but then I saw something. I saw the change. I saw as soon as they were so bad that Mike McDaniels was like,
the change.
Fired. I just saw it. I saw those changes. Like, we're getting focused. We're getting disciplined. We're not going to fuck around anymore with pitbull music in the middle of the fucking practice. We're going to get focused.
Here's why I hate the Dolphins. Because they are not a serious football team. And
That's
I don't like not serious football teams.
That's the coach's fault.
It's the GM's fault. It's the coach's fault. It's the owner's fault. It's the entire organization's fault. They are not a serious football
organization.
It's Miami.
Nothing serious in Miami.
Still, they were serious when Dan Marino was out there slinging the ball
Well,
around.
when Dan Marino was slinging the ball, Miami wasn't dominated by fucking party culture. It was just a party city, but it wasn't party
Brother, it was
culture.
the 80s.
The
It
cocaine was pure.
snowed cocaine
The
in
cocaine
Miami,
was
dog.
pure in the 80s. The cocaine was pure in the 80s. Now they're talking about pink cocaine and shit. Like, no, it's not the same.
Yeah, they're just not like I don't like poorly run organizations, which is why it's very hard for me to continue hating the Eagles because they're a very well run organization and I like that.
They're not.
I just don't like if you make mistakes, that's fine, but when you have an organization that from the top down is just clearly to me a fool who is just, I've watched football for 22 plus years, but I've never been in football. I've never played organized football. I've never been in an organization. And me sitting on my ass on a couch, I can clearly look at your organization and say, you're doing this wrong, you're doing this wrong, you're doing this wrong. If I can figure this out as some bozo in front of a shitty little webcam on YouTube, then like the people getting paid millions of dollars should be able to figure this out.
That's
Either
true.
that or I should be getting paid millions of dollars to do this, which I should. So any of the organizations out there, I'm available for consulting. $1 million flat rate, and I'll consult for the season.
You know what's a well-run football organization? The Colts.
Debatable. There's much worse, but they've got a couple key problems that Daniel Jones is erasing in real time, but. They got some kinks to work out. They're not a bad organization. They're a good organization that they got a couple little issues they got to work through.
Beautiful owner.
They ain't the Dolphins or the Bengals. Yeah.
Fuck
garbage. All right, let's move on. We're both on the Chargers. Even with the injuries, like Najee Harris is out, Omarion Hampton's on IR. Doesn't matter. The Dolphins stink.
Plus, the Dolphins lost their best wide receiver, so.
New England Patriots 3-2, fresh off a major upset of the Buffalo Bills, headed to New Orleans down to the Bayou to take on the 1-4 Saints. Spencer Rattler finally gets a win. 1 p.m. Also, again, a string of these on CBS. Saints Pats in New Orleans. Who you got?
Listen.
You got to print that on a T-shirt.
Kellen Moore, you beautiful white bastard. Thank you for getting us to the Super Bowl.
Beautiful is the word I would describe him as, but
thank you for winning us the Super Bowl. But you should have stayed in Philadelphia, brother. You're 1-4. 1-4 with the Saints. You should stay with Philly. That team is not going to beat Mike Vrabel's Patriots. Drake May is playing well. He was passing the ball to Diggs like he was baby, pooping out of his diaper. He was doing well. You have no chance, Mr. Moore. Your offense has no chance. Your defense has no chance. The Patriots are going to win this game, and they're going to continue to look like it's Tom Brady's birthday. So, Godspeed, Mr. Moore, but go Pats.
I disagree with everything you said except one thing, which is that I'm picking the Patriots. Kellen Moore, he took that job with a wink, wink, nudge, nudge understanding that this team is going to be bad and we're just going to ride it out because they've been in cap hell for over a decade. But you talk about mismanaged organizations. Mickey Loomis still having a job. He's got to have like photographs of somebody doing something to still have that job. But
hey,
this team is competitive, man. If Spencer Rattler put the ball a little more on Brandon Cook's body in that Bills game, they would have had a lead late in the second half against the Buffalo Bills. This Saints team is competitive. I expect this game to be competitive. But if it was any other Mickey Mouse coach other than Vrabel, I would say, yeah, they beat the Bills, but they're not there yet. They're going to get too high on their horse, and they're going to stumble the next week and end up dropping a game to the Saints, who have been playing good ball. But Mike Vrabel's not going to let that happen, so the Patriots are going to win this game.
Listen,
It's gonna be close. Close.
Mike
I like the Saints.
Mike Vrabel needs to whip out his cowboy hat.
I thought you were gonna say whip out something
No,
else,
no, no.
but
I like Vrabel not that much. He needs to whip out that cowboy hat, put the headsets on, put the cowboy hat on top of it, just like JR back in 1999, and just fucking coach with that cowboy hat on. I tell you, if Mike Vrabel pulls out that hat, they're gonna go undefeated for the rest of the season.
they do have a kind of a soft schedule. They still got the Dolphins a couple times, Jets, Saints. They got a lot of winnable games on that
Or
schedule.
one more with the Bills, but they beat the Bills in their own stadium too. So
Yeah, and the Bills are going to whoop their ass. They're going to pull their pants down and put the belt to them the next time they play. And you could write that down. But, all right, let's move on. We're both on the Pats. Next up, we got the 3-2 Los Angeles Rams, who should still be in St. Louis, headed to Baltimore to take on the 1-4 Baltimore Ravens, led by
not
Cooper Rush.
Yeah, not by Lamar Jackson.
1 p.m. on Fox. Who you got?
I feel bad for the Ravens. I feel really bad for the Ravens. They went from being a contender to just being one of the worst teams in the season so far. Granted, it's because of injuries. Granted, it's because they're not being consistent enough, just like the Eagles. I'm picking the Rams because the Rams are able to get it done. They're a good team. They're not injured as fuck. So I'm going with the Rams.
Yeah, I'm on the Rams. Too many injuries. I'm kind of confused by the Ravens trading Odafe Owe for Alohi Gilman.
Yeah.
I feel like they're getting Kyle Hamilton back, and they've had problems in the secondary, but they got problems on the defensive line too. I believe Odafe Owe is going to be a free agent, but like you're the Ravens, you're going to get Lamar back. I don't think at this point you're thinking like, well, the season's over. So that was kind of confusing to me, but there's just too many injuries. And the Rams, they lost a tough game to the Niners last week. And I respect Sean McVay for owning it because I liked that they went for it there at the end, but then I hated the play call. And I'm like, what does he do? Like, there was a horrible play call. And then right after the game, it comes out that he said in the press conference, yeah, that was a bad play call. That loss is on me. But they're looking for a bounce back. I think they're licking their chops, looking at a wounded animal in front of them. You got a Raven with 2 busted wings, and they're just going to possibly put him out of their misery. I don't know if you can crawl back from 1-5.
That's what they're going to do. Puka Nacua is going to go for like 100 yards in this game.
Justin Jefferson is the best wide receiver in football, but Puka Nacua is playing the best right now.
As long as it doesn't flex and gets fucking taunting foul, he will be fine.
Oh, God, don't even get me started. Stop with the taunting shit. Who cares?
Wasn't there like
Who cares? It's part of sports.
There was a fucking
let the man taunt.
There was a
let
taunting
the
call
play.
in the Eagles-Giants game because Cam Scatterbull apparently just said something to I think it was Reed Blankenship or somebody. I think he just walked by and said something.
Good.
Taunting. Like, how is that taunting?
Good.
He didn't even stop.
I hope Cam Scatterbull walked by Reed Blankenship and called him a soft ass white boy. Not that he is a soft ass, but I hope that's what he said because it's hilarious if he did. Let him talk shit. You used to be able to talk shit about people's mama, their family. You used to be able to say all sorts of shit.
Michael Jordan was a fucking grade A trash talker. Like,
it's part of sports.
Yeah.
Because there's a strategy of knowing if I talk shit to Michael Jordan, he's going to click into another level, and that's a bad thing for me. But you might talk shit to another guy where you know he's going to crumble because he can't handle the pressure of it. It's the mental aspect of the chess match. It's vital. And like we got to ban the nose wipe gesture because it's a blood gang sign to signalize who is a threat that we got to take out. And the kids watching, they're going to start doing it, and then some crip on the streets is going to say, "Oh, that little 10-year-old white girl, she's with the Bloods. We got to take her out." Like, get the fuck out of here. Just let people do their thing.
Have you seen the people that
cares?
come up with
It's
these rules?
fine.
Listen, The
Yeah,
NFL
old
posted the
crusty
video.
white people.
No, dude, no. Just like the tamest black guy I've ever seen in my life. He just looks like a marshmallow. That's how. Like he was doing the explanation of the new like penalties this
Oh,
season.
you know who that
I
is?
don't know who that is, but
Troy Vincent, longtime Philadelphia Eagle.
well, he looks like a cupcake instead of a fucking weapon. Like the video was the worst thing I ever saw. Like, who is this guy talking about these penalties? Like they're like, oh, we're gonna help the game be better. Like, no, you're just making the game worse. Fuck you. I don't care if you're an Eagle.
He's trumpeting the company line because
Yeah,
they pay him a good amount of
he's a
money
natural
to
John
lead all that crap.
Laurinaitis. Hey,
Yeah.
next.
I'm in my head. I'm trying to think of a good line to do a John Laurinaitis impression, but I can't.
Oh, hey, Vince. Nice pearl league.
Next up, we got the 2-3 Arizona Cardinals taking on the 4-1 Indianapolis Colts. 1:00 on Fox, pal.
People power.
Cardinals, Colts. Cardinals, oof, we'll get into that. 1 p.m. on Fox. Who you got?
I mean, the Indiana Jones and his Colts, they lost one game, but they bounced back like fucking champions. So I've got the Colts, dude. Indiana Jones is getting on this crusade, and he's entering temples of Doom and making sure that he's raiding all sorts of arcs. He's making sure that every single skull is crystal clear in that fucking field. The dial of destiny is pointing in the right direction for the Colts.
It looks like they've wind the dial of destiny back to Peyton Manning era Indianapolis Colts.
Daniel Jones is getting it done for the Colts, and they're working their ass off and they're getting the fucking win. So good for them. I'm picking the Colts. The Cardinals are uneven, and they're the worst team in the NFC West right now. They started well, but they're just crumbling. They're not playing well this past couple of weeks. They have not played well. Especially
the Cardinals are another team that they're just not a serious organization, and I don't like them.
It's Arizona.
And Kyler Murray is not a serious quarterback, and I feel bad for Amari DiMercato because everyone's clowning him. And I also feel bad for Jonathan Gannon because everyone's saying you got people on one side of like if my employer laid his hands on me, I would go to HR and have him fired. And it's like, you work at Staples. Stop it. Put the fries in the bag and shut your mouth. It is what it is. It's football. He popped him on the pads. I think he shouldn't have done it because it's bad energy that then the team is going to pick up on, where like you need to be the calm in the storm. It's like, okay, it was a mistake, but we still have a massive lead. Like, let's just keep playing ball. And then you pull the DiMercato to the side, and you grab him by the chest, and you lean in, and you say, you ever do that shit again, I'm going to cut your ass on the spot. And then you smack him on the ass and send him on his way. But whatever. But they're not serious. Kyler Murray is never going to be a serious quarterback. He's got mope face. He mopes around. He's not a leader. Jonathan Gannon, I could go either way on. I'll always be kind of partial to him because he did come up in the Minnesota system. But
the Eagles,
they're not going to beat the Colts. They ain't beating the Colts. They're not going to beat the Colts. Big John Taylor is running his ass off right now. Daniel Jones is playing incredible ball because he took a pit stop in Minnesota and learned up, took a crash course at the Kevin O'Connell quarterback rehab school, and now he could do no wrong. But we got to get my boy Adonai Mitchell some touches so he can make up for when he did the same thing Amari DiMercato did the week before. I will also say, if you watch, there's like the overhead cam, that might have actually been a touchdown.
Yeah.
It's still a bonehead play, but it actually might have been a touchdown.
I mean, players just need to realize that they cannot be celebrated before they actually make it to the end zone. Like that's just.
It's not even really a celebration.
The Colts one was not. The Colts one was just
that one was unfortunate.
Yeah,
he was reaching the ball out,
lost control of it,
slipped out.
But the DiMercato one, he clearly was just like dropping the ball. Like he was about to celebrate. Like, dude, get in the fucking end zone first, and then you celebrate. So come on.
It's inexcusable. It's bonehead shit. And then the rest of that game was just comical. Like, how do you the Titans throw an interception and within like 15 seconds turn it into a touchdown? just awful. The Cardinals are awful. They're a terrible
When
organization. They
you
have one of the
let the
worst
worst
owners in
team in the
sports.
league, when you let the worst team in the league defeat you under those circumstances and in that way, there's no going back. I'm sorry. You're
Yeah,
going down.
they're trash. It's another wounded animal with 2 broken wings. All right, let's move on. We got the.
You pick
Oh,
the
this is
Colts
a good
too?
one. Let me. Yeah, dog.
All right.
Pick the fucking Cardinals. All right. Next up, we got the 3-2 Seattle Seahawks coming off a heartbreaking loss to the
We love to
Buccaneers
hear it.
in an absolute classic. I watched the condensed game, and I'm mad that I was working and I did not get to watch that game live because it was fantastic. And Emeka Egbuka is, and we'll talk about him when we get to the Buccaneers, is just tremendous. Jackson Smith and Jigba, fantastic. 3-2 Seahawks headed down to Conland to take on the 4-1 Duval, Jacksonville Jaguars. 1 p.m. on Fox. Who you got?
I feel that the Jaguars are going to win this game, so I'm picking the Seahawks.
Okay.
They're riding the lightning. The Jaguars are, so I'm pretty sure they're going to win this game. So I'm picking against them because I know the Seahawks are going to let me down. The only time they never let me down was last week when I picked the Buccaneers and they actually won. So good for the Buccaneers, even though fuck the Buccaneers. But I think the Jaguars are going to win this game. That's the actual truth.
I'm intrigued by this Tyson Campbell for Greg Newsome II trade because they just paid Tyson Campbell. I don't know if this is like a better scheme fit with a new coaching staff. I think did they pay Tyson Campbell this offseason? I don't remember.
I'm not sure.
But it's an interesting trade, something to keep an eye on because they lead the league in turnovers forced. So I don't know that you necessarily want to disrupt what you got going on there, but Devin Lloyd is balling right now. That dude's hooping at the linebacker position. Maybe kind of sort of the return of Saxonville. They're getting a lot of pressure. You know how I feel about the Jaguars, but this Seahawks team, I like this Seahawks team, man. They can put up points. Slinging Sammy Darnold, as my dad refers to him, O'Donnell. I don't know where he got. I think he's mixing Kevin O'Connell with Sam Darnold, and he just called, who's that Seahawks quarterback? O'Donnell, and it's Sam Darnold. He's playing. He had the late interception, but what was it? It was tipped. Something happened, or his arm was hit. Maybe I'm making that up, but he threw 4 touchdowns. Like Sam Darnold is playing excellent football right now. Jackson Smith and Jigba is fantastic. I like Mike McDonald and his defensive scheme. I like what they're doing. But for reasons, Duval, baby. Jacksonville Jaguars are going to get the 5-1.
All right, so you're going to pick the Jaguars. That's fine. Basically, I'm picking the Jaguars too by picking the Seattle Seahawks because you know how I feel about picking the Seahawks. So, listen. They're right, like I said, they're riding lightning. The Jaguars are riding the lightning. They are getting shit done and they're winning games. So I feel like they're gonna be a surprise contender this season. The Jaguars, like fully surprised about.
I mean, it wasn't that long ago when it was 2023 when they were like 11-2 or 11-3, I think, and they had the best record in the AFC, and then they kind of fell apart a little bit, but then they won the playoff game where they came back in the second half against the Chargers, and then Trevor Lawrence got hurt last year and the wheels fell off. So
I mean, last year was
they got a horseshoe up their ass. Like they got luck on their side, but they're also like they got regression on their side. They're getting a ton of turnovers. It's just everything is flowing in the right direction for Jacksonville. I don't think it's fool's gold. It's sort of like luck being the residue of preparation and everything's converging at the right time and they're taking advantage of it.
Yeah, I'm not saying they're going to win the AFC this season, but they're definitely contenders. I mean, they're shaping up to be contenders. So we'll see what happens. I mean, it's still the first 2 weeks of October, so we'll see what happens.
I still want Liam Cohen to grow a beard, shave his head, and get a little like Michael Jordan earring.
Okay.
I just think it would look cool. I like it. Just him bowing up, going face to face with Bob Salas. Like this guy, he looks like a nerd, but he's got some dog in him.
Yeah,
sure.
I wish I could see Brian Dabble like stuck like a pig and just being run around and fired, but whatever.
All right, next up we got the 2-2-1 Dallas Cowboys traveling to Carolina to take on the 2-3 Carolina Panthers, 1 p.m. on Fox. Who you got?
Are the Cowboys bad?
No.
No.
Their defense is bad.
All right, so
I don't know if they're good either. They're frustrating and befuddling if you like the Cowboys, I think.
I'm going to pick the Cowboys because I think they're the better football team, even though they don't have a good defense right now. But if they lose to the Panthers, I think I'm going to stop asking that question. I'm just going to know the Cowboys are bad. But I'm picking the Cowboys, though.
I have no idea what the Panthers are. Like I'm picking the Cowboys because I need to see more with the Panthers to have any kind of idea of what their identity is. Like 1 week they look like the worst team in football, and then they start the next week and they look like the worst team in football, and then like they just turn on the Jets and not the New Jersey Jets, but they turn on the gas, all gas, no brakes, and come back and win the game, or they blow out the Falcons. Like it's such a wide variance of outcomes for reasons I don't fully understand because I'm not sitting here and watching their games. But I can't pick them. Like Dallas, at the very least, I know pass defense sucks. The run defense is a little bit better. They're starting to get some pass rush, and the offense, even without CD Lamb, is moving the rock all over the field. Carolina has a bad defense. I'm picking the Cowboys.
They beat the Dolphins last week. It's not like they beat a contending team or a good team. So good for the Panthers, but the Cowboys should win this game. Granted, they're not in Jerry World. They're in Carolina. They're visiting the Panthers. So that could be an X factor. This could be a trap game for the Cowboys. Who knows? But on paper, with what I've seen from both teams, the Cowboys should win this game. They should. But if they don't,
I feel like this is gimmick infringement, but I'll allow it.
Are you the one that says on
that's
paper?
One of my 15 catchphrases is
you say
blank should win this game.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. Well, on paper, the Cowboys should be victorious.
Oh God, it's the trademark is pending. Yeah, the Cowboys got to go with the Cowboys. They're not a perfect team. They're not even maybe a good team. They're 2-2-1 is kind of what the Cowboys are. Like it just makes sense. But the Panthers are just. Who the fuck knows, man? Next up, we have the Toilet Bowl. The 1-4 Tennessee Titans headed to Vegas to take on the 1-4 formerly Oakland Raiders at 4:05 p.m. on Fox. Who you got?
Ironically, Allegiant Stadium does look like a fucking toilet bowl, black, but you know. I got the Raiders. This is it. This is the game where the team actually turns her around. Where Geno Smith finally remembers how to play ball. Pete Carroll actually knows that he's a good coach. And they're able to beat the horrible organization known as the Tennessee Titans. I'm picking the Raiders.
Well, I feel like we have not diverged on enough picks, so I'm picking the Titans, baby. I don't know if Tavondre Sweat is back.
Just because of that reason, you're picking the Titans?
No, I think, they got a little juju going their way. Like, Cam Ward said the other week, they said, if you could sum this up in 5 words, how would you describe the season thus far? I said, I don't need 5 words. We're ass. But they got some good juju from that Cardinals game. They're still not a good team. Brian Callahan is a bum and a bozo and a buffoon as a head coach. Basically just Zach Taylor copy pasted in Tennessee, but I feel like the Raiders juju going way down. Titans juju starting to come back up. Geno Smith is Geno Smith, and that's what I was checking. I want to see if Tavondre Sweat is playing, because if Tavondre Sweat's back, Ashton Genty ain't gonna run that ball. And let's see. He's not listed, but I think he was on IR, so he might not be playing. Yeah, I'm going with the Titans, baby. Tighten up. Is that their catchphrase? Their hashtag?
I don't know, but it's better than burr down.
It's also better than hashtag keep pounding.
Is that the Bengals? With the Panthers?
Panthers.
Jesus Christ. Keep pounding.
Keep pounding.
Jesus Christ.
What? Maybe stop pounding, because the pounding is clearly not working out for you. But yeah, I don't know. I Cam Ward, I like his mindset. I don't know. I didn't know much about him coming out in the draft. There's some concerns there, but he had a ton of experience coming in. And I don't know. There's just it's a game between two bad teams. It's like, where's the juju at? The juju is pointed at the Titans.
It's a game nobody will be watching except for the fans of these teams.
And even they might just say, you know what? Nah,
they might just go on a picnic that day and fuck it. It's 4:00. I'm gonna go out and go to the park or something.
I mean, it's a 4:00 game. They might black out by that point. And if they're Raiders fans, then they might be blacked out from the night before. So it is what it is. But San Francisco 49ers 4-1, Tampa Bay Buccaneers 4-1, 125 on CBS. Maybe, probably the game of the week. Mac Jones is starting. And you know I love me some Mac Jones, baby. Is it 4-1, 4-1? Who you got?
All right. First things first. Will Mac Jones eat 11 bananas this week? Will Mac Jones have major cramping issues this week? Will he be winded out by the first quarter? Will he be able to wall the rest of the game? That dude is in the worst shape I ever seen a quarterback in, ever. Like, Joe Flacco and Aaron Rodgers are double his age, and they are running that fucking field like they're just 25-year-olds. Mac Jones was hurting. He could not throw the ball without going, oh my God, my fucking body. Like, he is in the worst shape I've ever seen a quarterback in, ever. How the fuck did he play the way he did? Like, he was eating bananas. He was getting massages on his calves. Like, he was cramping every single part of his body. Like, he was not able to fucking be good. And physically, he was just not in a good physical condition. I hope he actually trained. He actually said this himself in the post-game interview or during the sideline or something. Like, I just got to, that's on me. I have not been working out. It's like, clearly, motherfucking pudgy fuck. Like, what the fuck are you doing? You have the talent. You're on the 49ers. Get yourself in shape. You have what it takes to be the actual starting quarterback over Brock Purdy. You have a chance to compete for that role. Don't fuck it up. With that said,
I find him looking – go ahead.
Sorry. With that said, the bath salts in Tampa Bay are still good. And by bath salts, I mean the smelling salts, because we know those are not smelling salts. So I'm picking the Buccaneers because they're still strong. They're still going high. They lost to the Eagles, but they're still a good team. They're still a contender. I'm picking the Buccaneers with Baker Mayfield baking some cookies.
I'm picking the Bucks, and here's why. First of all, I love Mac Jones, and him looking like the Pillsbury Doughboy I find it endearing. I like it. He's got 6 touchdowns to 1 interception this season. Baker Mayfield has 10 touchdowns to 1 interception this season. The Niners decimated with injuries, but guess what? The Bucks are also very quietly decimated with injuries. They got tackle injuries. Bucky Irving's out, which is a concern. Mike Evans is still out. They got a bunch of injuries, but you wouldn't notice watching the game. Like, they're just out there hooping, man. So I'm picking the Bucks because I don't know if I can't see the Niners keeping this going to this extent with the amount of injuries they have. Maybe they can, but I'm riding with Baker. That's my guy. It's maybe the only quarterback in the league that whenever I talk to my dad about him, he knows his name and does not butcher it in any capacity. So I respect that. That's how good Baker is.
I hate him.
My dad knows his name. That's how damn good this guy is. I'm going with Baker. I'm going with the Bucks.
I hate him. I don't buy his good guy attitude. He's clearly a piece of shit. But he's one.
You love Baker.
He's one hell of a football player. He's one hell of a quarterback. So good for the Bucks. Fuck the Bucks.
Baker's a great guy.
He's not a great guy. He's a fucking scumbag. He's just good at football.
No, he's not. He was
fucking scumbag.
he was a party boy college kid, came into the league and won a playoff game in Pittsburgh with the Cleveland Browns. At that point, I said, I don't care. This guy could shoot a man in the face in Times Square. This dude is a football player. And then everyone clowned him. They kept clowning him. And he's matured, but maintained his level of intensity, his fiery leadership. They can call it moxie if they want. They can call it whatever they want. Baker is that boy. And they're going to get this dub and get the 5-1. I looked at the Bucs schedule. The Bucs, I think, are going to win at least 12 games this year.
Hey, they got what it takes, so.
Yes, they do.
Fuck them.
All right. Next up, I should have wrote the timestamp down for that. Let's check in. 105. We'll see how that goes. This is bad radio. 2-3 Cincinnati Bengals basically should be 0-5. Headed to the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field to take on the 2-1-1 Green Bay Packers. 125 on CBS. Bengals Packers. Who you got?
I mean, I got the Packers, but do the Packers look as a strong contender that they did prior to that tie with the Cowboys, prior to that loss that they had? They've gone down a couple of steps. They went into the season looking like they're going to be unstoppable, looking like they're going to be one of the best teams in the season. And somehow, some of that heat has fizzled, and they're actually getting cold. Nobody cares about the Packers anymore, which makes me believe they're going to be a sleeper. I'm picking the Packers.
I like that assessment.
Yeah, I'm picking the Packers over the Bengals, mainly because the Bengals are a horrible team. They have zero defense. They have a horrible offensive line. And the Packers, they have a great team, young team. They got Micah Parsons looking for dominance, even though he hasn't had any good games yet as a Packer. So I feel like this is a game where Micah Parsons is going to get multiple sacks in one game. This is going to be it. And the Packers are going to win it.
Micah Parsons might get 8 sacks in this game.
Fuck Micah Parsons.
He might break the Derek Thomas record. Yeah, the Bengals suck. They're not a real team. They're starting Joe Flacco, and I know there's some Packers fans that are like, oh, Joe Flacco beat us with Cleveland. He might beat us with Cincinnati. Cleveland's defense beat the Packers. Joe Flacco did not beat the Packers. I love your assessment on the fact that, more or less that people are suddenly sleeping on the Packers because they lost to the Browns and then they were on bye. And there's just this sort of thing. Like when you're on bye, everyone forgets that you exist suddenly. And the last taste they had in their mouth is them blowing that lead in the fourth quarter to the Browns. And so everyone's like, they trade for Micah Parsons now. Are the Packers the best team in the league? Are they the Super Bowl front runners?
No.
Then they lose one game to a great defense. And then it's, the Packers aren't who we thought they were. People were overrating the Packers. It's like, no. You were overrating the Packers. The Packers are the Packers plus Micah Parsons. They are a legitimate contending team. It is what it is. We don't know to what extent yet because they've only played 4 games. The Packers are a great team. They're going to win a bunch of games. They're going to make the playoffs. Probably going to win a playoff game. Might win multiple. They might go to the Super Bowl. We'll see. But what I can tell you as a matter of fact is the Cincinnati Bengals ain't going nowhere near the playoffs, just like they ain't going anywhere near the playoffs last year, just like they ain't going anywhere near the playoffs the year before. Bengals suck. Organization sucks. Duke Tobin sucks. Zach Taylor sucks. The ownership group sucks. The organization sucks. The facilities suck. Their cap management sucks. Everything about this team, with the exception of Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and Trey Hendrickson, and maybe a couple nice-looking young rookies, sucks. Well, he's injured. He's not. He doesn't count at this point.
I feel like Joe Burrow could do very well in the right team with a good offensive line. What team with a good offensive line is missing or needing a quarterback right now?
Think about how good he is. Imagine how good he would be. Swap him and Jared Goff and tell me what he would be doing with the Detroit Lions.
Oh, yeah.
With an actual offensive line and still great weapons all around him and a great play caller.
Championship game. Yeah.
whatever. The Bengals suck, and the Packers are going to beat them. Simple, easy.
This is gonna be one of those weeks where we think that every single game is gonna be like easy, like or just like it looks on paper, and it's just gonna surprise us, isn't it? Like last week.
Well, I feel like that's been every fucking week, which means at some point everything's got to just kind of play out, chalk how it's supposed to.
Yeah.
But all right, next up we got Sunday Night Football.
Speaking of the Lions.
The Detroit Football Lions at 4-1 on a 4-game win streak travel to Arrowhead to take on Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs at 2-3, 8:20 p.m. on NBC and Peacock. Who you got?
I got the Detroit Football Lions mauling the Chiefs, biting some kneecaps off and making sure that Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and poor Andy Reid suffer from what every other team has been suffering for the past couple of years. The agony of defeat at the hands of these Lions, that's what's going to happen.
Chiefs are going to win this game.
Jesus Christ.
The Chiefs are going to win this game. They're favored by 2.5. Vegas knows something, which means there could be some shenanigans in store involving some referees where they're like, the league's like, they're slipping, man. They're not handling their business. We got to step in. We got to do something. We need Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. We can't have this happen. But also, the Brandon Perna, the curse wheel, which if you're not familiar, Brandon Perna has a great YouTube show. That's Good Sports, something like that. Excellent production. Tremendous. And he has a curse wheel that he spins every week, and whatever team it lands on, they are cursed. And I think it was either last year or the year before, every single week, the team that the curse wheel landed on lost the game. The record of teams losing that with the curse wheel lands on them is staggering. And the curse wheel landed on the Detroit Lions. And for that reason, and possibly that reason, that combined with the Vegas odds where it's like, why are the Chiefs 2.5-point favorites against the Detroit Lions? That doesn't make sense to me. You combine those factors together, something's in the air. Something weird's in the air. The Detroit Lions are a better team than Kansas City. The Detroit Lions should whoop the Chiefs. But something weird's in the air, and I'm smelling the salts. I'm reading the tea leaves, and I'm going to go out on that limb, and I'm going to take the Kansas City Chiefs to get back to 500.
Listen, there's bad juju in Kansas City. Taylor Swift's album is tanking. Travis Kelce is dropping balls and not getting passes.
I saw a great quote about Taylor's album that was, if Taylor wrote this, it's terrible. If AI wrote this, it's an abomination. But if Travis wrote this, not bad.
Oh, man. Poor Travis Kelce. Not poor Travis Kelce. He's always been a little bit of a scumbag, too. You know, nothing against him personally. He just rubs me the wrong way sometimes. Good for him.
His brother, though, great guy.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, great guy. But, he's just he just feels like he's just in a string of bad luck. You can see every time I see him play, he's just angry because shit is not going their way. He's arguing.
Honeymoon's over.
He's arguing with Andy Reid on the sidelines. He's arguing with the rest of the team. He's losing it, and he's got to get back in control of his emotions if he wants to actually get things to go the right way for them. Patrick Mahomes. People were glazing him because he was getting rushing touchdowns. Like, dude, if your quarterback has to always get rushing touchdowns, that means you have no wide receivers open. That means your wide receivers are not good right now. Your wide receivers
who leads the league in rushing touchdowns as a quarterback every single year?
I know. It's fine. But what I'm saying is that you don't fucking it's not. It's not a telltale. They're not playing well. That's what I'm trying to say.
He's gritty. He's doing anything they can to for his team to win.
Yeah,
he's so great.
That's what they're glazing him because he's
man, look at Patrick Mahomes. Look at this incomplete pass. This is the best incomplete pass I've ever seen in my life.
It's never on him. It's always on the receiver.
Oh no, we got to deal with Collinsworth and Patrick Mahomes again. No, stop. They can't be allowed to keep doing this. If you put them on Monday night, put them on Thursday night, put them in London, put them anywhere in a standalone game that's not with Chris Collinsworth on the call. God damn it!
Oh, you're ready for the glaze?
Patrick Mahomes could get injured in on the first play, and I could say, thank God, we don't have to listen to Collinsworth glaze him for 3.5 hours.
So he's still got glaze.
Oh, man, I have never seen a quarterback get injured quite like Patrick Mahomes. He turned his ankle. I've never seen a guy turn his ankle.
Look at the way he's protecting the ball. Look at the way he protected the ball. He had to make sure that ball was protected. That's why he got injured.
Save us. This would be a great time for the aliens to come down and wipe out our civilization. Or just shoot a laser down and beam up Chris Collinsworth, never to be seen or heard from again. Just heard from. I could see him. I just don't want to hear from him ever again.
The Chiefs are not playing well. They're not consistent. Their chemistry's off. There's nothing working. So I don't think they're going to win this game. I feel like even though Brendan, whatever his name is, I know who he is, but I never watch his videos. Even though he's Will Curse thing, whatever you said, the Lions, I think the Lions got this.
They should. They're better.
I mean, if this game comes down to the fucking inch of a fucking foul or whatever, or a penalty that's just like a bullshit penalty, then yeah, I'll be pissed off, and you were right.
We'll see. All right, we got two Monday Night Football games. First up, 8:15 p.m. on 7:15 p.m. on ESPN. Buffalo Bills 4-1, looking to bounce back, headed to Atlanta to take on the 2-2 Falcons. Who you got?
Throwback game, by the way. Both teams will be wearing their throwback uniforms in this game.
Oh, boy.
That Falcons throwback uniform is sweet. And Bills, who are just going to wear that weird throwback uniform, which you just look at the Patriots. I'm picking the Bills. I'm picking them bounce back against the Falcons. Even though the Falcons, they're not a bad team this season. They're okay. I don't think they're strong enough to beat the Bills. So, go Bills. Hey. Let's go, Buffalo.
Let's go, Buffalo. Bills,
of course.
I like the Falcons. They're figuring themselves out, and a part of me is just wounded from how they ran all over my Vikings in week 2. But I like, for as much as Terry Fontenot has been kind of a bozo as a GM, I kind of like what they've been doing. Raheem Morris, I've always thought was a little bit slept on. I love Michael Penix Jr. Bijan is a beast. I'm sorry, Bijan.
Now he's a beast.
Every week, I'm sorry, Bijan. I did not mean any disrespect. He's a top tier running back. But the Bills, they're angry and they're going to bounce back. And Josh Allen's going to go nuclear and handle business.
Listen, if this was a game played on Sunday, I would pick the Falcons. Because you know how that team reminds me of the team in any given Sunday. What?
Yeah. They could play on a Wednesday afternoon. I'm still picking the Bills.
So if this was a game on Sunday Night Football or any other time slot on the Sunday slate, I would pick the Falcons for the upset, for the trap game. So, but not this week. They're playing on Monday night. The Bills on prime time. They're a different breed. They're going to win.
All right, and then the last game, 8:15 on ABC, probably on ESPN Unlimited. 2-2 Chicago Bears coming off a bye, headed to Washington, the nation's capital, to take on the 3-2 Washington Football Club, the Commanders. Bears Commanders in a rematch of the game last year that sent both teams in complete opposite directions. The Bears lost 11 straight after that, I believe, and the Commanders ended up surging to an 11-win season and an NFC Championship game appearance. Can they flip the juju, or will the same result happen? Bears, Commanders, Monday night, ABC and ESPN. Unlimited. Who you got?
I got the Bears. The Commanders are out.
Ooh.
They don't have Terry McLaurin. They don't have Brown. They have no good wide receivers left. There's no VR.
Sleeping on Luke McCaffrey?
What?
Sleeping on my boy Luke McCaffrey?
I'm sleeping on fucking Zach Ertz. Okay? So, listen. This is no VR, Mr. Daniels. There's no way in hell you're going to surprise us again like you did last season with that Hail Mary where the Bears foolishly celebrated before the game was over and cost them the victory. This time around, they're going back and they're going for blood. The Bears are going to win this game, and the Commanders I'm not going to have any chance at hell at making any plays on offense without the good wide receivers. I'm sorry. It's got to be a Zach Ertz heavy game. So just if you have Zach Ertz in your fantasy team, good.
It's actually a good point. Might want to throw a couple jelly beans on some Zach Ertz prop bets. But I'm so mad you picked the Bears because I'm also picking the Bears, and I was hoping that this would be a divergent pick. Yeah, I mean, McLaurin's out, Noah Brown's out, Debo's questionable.
Fucking Debo.
Sam Cosmi's still out. Now, with the Bears, Grady Jarrett's out, so you might be able to get some runs up the middle. Something to keep an eye on. Cairo Santos, questionable with a thigh. So if this is a game that comes down to a field goal and Cairo Santos doesn't play or he's hobbled from the thigh, that could be something to watch. But I am picking the Bears.
Hey.
I think Ben Johnson, I don't want to see it, but they're on a 2-game win streak. Granted, they did not play very well against the Raiders in the first half-ish of that game. I don't want to see the Bears get hot. Nobody else in our division wants to see the Bears get hot. The last thing we need is another good team in the NFC North, but I feel like they're I don't know if they're going to get hot, but they're going to keep the train rolling. They're going to get that bounce back. They're going to get some revenge. This is a team-wide revenge game for last year.
Oh, yeah.
Washington's beat up, and barring a late field goal from an injured Cairo Santos going awry or someone else having to step in, I like the Bears in this game.
You know what I miss about that I wanted to say about the Bills and Falcons? The Bills have not beaten the team where Stephon Diggs is playing since they got rid of him.
No, they beat the Texans last year, didn't they?
No, the Texans won that game.
Huh.
And now he comes in.
The Vikings beat the Bills when Diggs was on the Bills, so must have been something the Bills did.
Yep.
Not my problem
That's
anymore.
bad juju on the gods right there. They did something. They wrung Stephon Diggs, and he came in fucking swinging last week against. Like he I've seen the videos. Like him on the sideline during the national anthem or something like that. Like he was just like legit. Like he was pumped up. Like he hates the Bills.
I see that's kind of who Diggs is a fucking head case, but on game day, like he is a psycho all the time in a good way, all the time. Like he is intense as hell. That and it's the pink cocaine. And he also it came out. Cardi B came out and said that Diggs 100% eats ass. So,
all right,
just throwing that out there.
So
don't demonetize us, even though we're not monetized.
All right,
like and subscribe for more ass eating takes.
That's it for today.
No more football heads. This is ass heads now.
Two teams on bye. We mentioned it earlier. Texans actually are on bye this week. Same with the Vikings. Who does it benefit? It benefits the Vikings. They got a lot of injuries. They got to get healed up. So good for them. They can get some rest. Texans, they finally won last week, right? They did?
They're 2 in a row.
Yeah, they won. They finally won last week. They're on a hot streak. So I don't think this bye benefits them because it just, messed with the momentum. So we'll see. But I think the Vikings are going to be a lot healthier when they face the Eagles next week, which will be horrible for us. But, I still have faith in the Birds.
I'm going to rant here about the Vikings real quick.
Go ahead.
First of all, shouts out to the boys, the depth on the offensive line. I was terrified that you're coming into a game, you're starting a man at center who has never snapped the ball in a game in his life. You're on a third string center, third string left guard, backup right tackle who might be the worst backup right tackle in football. I already talked about Justin School, how he handled his business against the great Myles Garrett. The game plan from Kevin O'Connell to protect those guys. TJ Hawkinson. Vikings fans are out here bitching and moaning. Oh, we got to cut TJ Hawkinson. He's not worth the money. He's not catching any balls. You watch the tape. This dude is handling his business blocking because they need him to. CJ Ham came back. He was chipping. We love to see Ham in space. But when you need Ham back there chipping and blocking, you love to see that too. But those guys handled their business. Gave Carson Wentz, who sucks, plenty of time to throw, but Carson Wentz is a fucking bum and needed Kevin O'Connell to jack in. It's like, what's the Elon Musk shit? The Cyberlink shit, the go in your brain and you got like AI in your brain type shit, whatever that's called.
I don't pay.
He has to dip in Sam Worthington Avatar style into Carson Wentz's head so he can go 9 for 9 on the game-winning drive. And shouts out Carson Wentz for delivering when we needed him to, but that dude sucks at football. Multiple injuries, but Alec Lewis of The Athletic came out and he had a statement in regards to J.J. McCarthy and that whole process. And the verbiage he used was that he needed, past tense, multiple weeks, and that once he was healed, past tense, they implemented a rigorous routine to work on his lower body mechanics. And I'm going to take a victory lap here because everyone was reading through the tea leaves. Everyone who covers the Vikings, everyone who's a fan of the Vikings, reading the tea leaves. Oh, Kevin O'Connell keeps bringing up that he missed the Thursday practice to see the birth of his child. He was mad that he did. Kevin O'Connell has like 18 kids. He ain't mad that the dude missed a practice. He keeps saying it to hammer home as bad as he played in the Falcons game. Like Thursday is the most important day of the week in terms of practice. It's third down install day. He missed that. He's saying it to let people know like there's a reason he was that bad. He's not gonna miss practices because he's not going to have another kid right away. Like that's not. We got at least 9 months until he's gonna have another kid. So, but JJ McCarthy sounds like he's healed. You could spend the whole, and this is why the bye week is critical, not just for the injuries. Hopefully, Donovan Jackson will be back from wrist surgery. Ryan Kelly's on IR. He may end up retiring with the concussions. But Juergens going to try and get him healthy to get him back at center. Brian O'Neill with the MCL, maybe we could get him back. We'll see how he is, but you'll get some people back. Blake Cashman coming off IR, maybe he's ready to go. So hopefully we're going to get some of these pieces back. Maybe Andrew Van Ginkel, the neck tweak is kind of, maybe he's feeling good enough to go. Get some pieces back, but you get a full week where other guys, they're visiting family, they're resting their body, or they're just clanging and banging, lifting weights. J.J. McCarthy going to drill his lower body mechanics, which I said from day one, 3 weeks, I've listened to everybody who talks about the Vikings. Break down, try and read between the lines, because Kevin O'Connell, it's all word salad. He doesn't say anything, but between the lines, everyone's trying to figure out what does he actually mean. Are we going to ride the hot hand in Carson Wentz, who has a below league average QBR? Not that I give a shit about QBR, but he's a bum. He's trash. He's garbage. He's terrible. But all this line reading that everyone's trying to do, and I said from day one, after that Atlanta game, it's the footwork mechanics. That was the one thing evaluating J.J. McCarthy coming out in the draft. His footwork mechanics needed work. He was drilling that. Then he tears his meniscus. You can't drill footwork mechanics with a torn meniscus. What happens when you're trying to build a new habit? You start doing it, but as soon as you stop doing it, you revert to your old ways. He couldn't continue to work his footwork mechanics because he had a torn meniscus. So then when he comes back, This year in the offseason, he's not the backup quarterback where it's like you could dedicate more time to drilling mechanics. You're installing the entire offense. You're having him lead the huddle. There's other things that he needs to focus on. He can't be solely focused on the footwork mechanics. But now he has a week where he has to do nothing but spend time with the kid and drill the footwork mechanics. And then next week, you keep drilling the footwork mechanics, and then you do the install for the Eagles. So whether or not his footwork mechanics are miraculously fucking healed and he's perfect and then everything is great moving forward or not, at least he'll be in a better position with them headed into the Eagles game. I expect J.J. McCarthy to start, but either way, great time for the bye, critical time. We got to get the boys back healthy. We need Andrew Van Ginkel out there, baby. We need the hair flowing. We need cash back. I ain't talking 1% cash back. I ain't talking 1.5% cash back. I ain't talking 2%, 3% cash back. I'm talking Amazon Visa card 5% cash back. We need Blake Cashman back in the lineup, baby. We need him. We need you, baby. Don Jackson's back on the left side. Brian O'Neill, hopefully we can get him back on the right side. If we got to plug Blake Brandel in somewhere, you feel good about it. Don't know what's up with Darisaw. They pulled him out. They said it was a snap count thing. They got him on a pitch count. He didn't play in the fourth quarter. Sounds a little fishy to me, but there's been no injury updates on him at all, so he'll be good to go. We're gonna get the boys back, and we're gonna welcome the Philadelphia Eagles into US Bank Stadium, and they're gonna play a great game.
We'll see. A more interesting story will be for the Eagles to face Carson Wentz.
No. Nobody cares about that shit. Get this. Send this dude to outer space. Shoot him past Pluto, past the Kuiper Belt, and have him conscripted to the Draconian Dark Fleet. I don't want him anywhere near us.
Hey, Kylie Ringo can join them, all right? They can go together.
There you go. Sounds great.
I know I ranted about the Eagles at the start of the show. We started talking about Thursday's game against the Giants. But I forget to mention the one saving grace that has been Dallas Goedert the past couple of games. He has been phenomenal this season. Normally he's injury prone. He gets injured start at the early season and he just comes back for the playoffs. But so far in these 5 games that we played, 6 games, sorry, he has been the one that has had the most chemistry of Jalen Hurts on the field and making sure that he's getting the plays. He's making sure that he's on the right part of the field, reading the ball right, getting the plays, getting the touchdowns. So, Dallas Goedert, God bless you.
All right. Any non-pick predictions?
I already made my predictions that Micah Parsons is going to sack the fuck out of whoever's playing Joe Flacco. Poor Joe Flacco. Sorry, Joe. But, he's going to sack Joe Flacco multiple times. That's my prediction. I have no further predictions except for the fact that the Lions are going to destroy the Chiefs.
Here's my prediction. The Bengals suck. They suck. That's it.
They're so bad.
All right. That's the show. Thanks for tuning in. Like, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Like it. Just do it. It takes
and comment.
Literally 3
Let us know
seconds.
What you think. Are we idiots? Am I a fool? Can you understand what I'm saying? Do you agree with what I'm saying? Do you agree with what Kyle is saying? If you don't, let us know too. We can argue online too. We can just write back at you. We can be argumentative. We can be debaters. We can do whatever you want. So just comment on what you think about what our opinions are. I am a dual football fan after all. So just be graceful.
What he said, but if you disagree with me, just know you don't know ball. All right, just know you don't know ball. It's fine. It's free country, or so they say, but you don't know ball. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. Till next time, take it easy, football heads.
God bless football and go Birds.
Duval.